Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So we are pretty much still in that triangle that we spoke about yesterday. We now have a third touch on that, and I could probably extend this to there. Let me just get it right. There you go. So that is the upper trend line, and then if you just draw that bottom one in, you're going to get a fairly solid picture here, and you can see we are just hovering here in the apex of this triangle. And I am going to pick up this pin bar here, as I spoke about yesterday. That is where the structure is forming. Oscillators, yeah, they're all over the place at the moment, not really giving us much. We are in a fairly strong uptrend, as you can see by the moving averages pointing up, but we do have quite a deep diversion between the 155 EMA and the slower moving EMAs. So for all intents and purposes, if I just condense that, we are still in a range. Okay, so that is kind of the picture. It does look like we are building something to go somewhere, and for me, flag pole, flag, I would expect a break and retest of this upper trend line here. So when we drop down to the 3 hour, you can see it just doesn't give you anything. The only thing positive is we're above the moving averages, and we're staying above the moving averages for a grind higher. Last week was a proper grind, and we're just continuing it. But if you look at this on multiple strategies, you'll see this is becoming a squeeze. And normally what happens when you squeeze price like this, there is a violent breakout. And the question is which way. So if it is a flag, your bias should be to the upside, kind of a 60-40 split. And if it is just a range, the longer we go on in the range, the less likely you have a probability of a sure bet break to the upside. Then it starts becoming 50-50. So anyway, that is kind of the structure. The bob wire is still forming, so you can see tails to the upside, tails to the downside. So that just indicates confusion. And what I mean by bob wire, if you look at a piece of bob wire, it's got all these spikes on it. So that's kind of where it comes from. And all these tails represent at the bottom is that there are buyers coming in here, and then there are sellers coming in here. And you can see how it's just getting the distance between the two is getting less and less and less and less. So we are heading into a fairly decent squeeze. And when we drop down to the hour, the chaos just jumps out at you. And you can see big up, big down, big up, big down, big up, big down, above and below the moving averages every single day. No structure, absolutely nothing brewing here. So I just want to take this level and drop it onto this long tail here. That doesn't materialize any clear picture for me, so let's just move it down. You can see I'm just looking for the structure to the left that makes the most sense, and that probably makes sense there. So let's just lock that level in. I'll get to that now in the 15-minute. Oscillators all over the place, no real structure. The only thing that is indicating uptrend on the hour is the 155 EMA. The longer we stay above it, the longer we are in an uptrend. So the minute we start dropping down to levels that we need to be looking at to trade, and you can see the 15-minute just creates even more havoc for you. So I'm just condense it a bit, and let's just go through some logic here. So firstly, we do have a gap open down there from Friday. We've got a whole lot of gaps open here from yesterday, and I don't think there's anything here that I've seen. Just want to double check. No. Okay, so those are the gaps we have, and then we've got a gap down here. So still a strong possibility that we move back down to the trend line, and you can see that is the bottom of the trend line there. So it is possible to come all the way down into the 16,100 area. If we have a look at this level here, and you can see on the 15 minutes it's not actually exact. Price is probably at a better position here. You can see my buy and sell line there, that blue and green line there. So that is kind of in the zone, to be honest. So this is the area I'd be watching this morning, but I wouldn't want to be buying off this. Okay, so 16,158. We do have a bit of a gap to the upside. I'd be looking for price to move up, reject this upper trend line, and come back down, and then look for the base that it should form. Or alternatively, you want to let price come down here onto the trend line, and then just get onto the hour, and you've got basically a multiple choice here, because every single one of these tails is going to offer an opportunity for support. And the most logical one, which stands out at me, is this pin bar here. You can see we found and we were below it, and then we never really came back to test it properly. So this area here, and it lines up with the 155. So this would be a 16,100 or 16,111 would be the area I'd be paying attention to. That would be another area for a buy. If we do drop below that, that is also the low of yesterday. So if we do drop below that and come back and reject it, that would be the trigger for some shorts. Okay, so in other words, for me, it's still a bit of a sit on hands and wait scenario. It's pointless trying to jump in here and just get yourself frustrated. So yeah, it's gonna work itself out soon. Definitely going to work itself out in the next day or two. But until then, just stay calm and wait for it. But those are the three levels I'd be waiting for. We're going to need to see a break of the trend line to the upside and a retest for longs to really kick in. Or you need to find support down the bottom at 16,111. And otherwise, if you get below that and you come back and you reject 16,111, or even 1600 for that matter, because there is some chaos down there, then that would be a trigger for shorts. So anyway, that's kind of my view. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.